All right, happy Friday. Welcome in the NBA tip-off show powered by WagerTalk.com. Love the slate here tonight in the association. Some very interesting spots, and the market is doing what the market does. It makes us scratch our heads at this point in the day sometimes, but we get to go through it with three of the best at Wager Talk here on the show. We'll talk to the contrarian gods. We'll talk a total. We'll talk some dogs and eventually get the three best bets from Ski Profit, RC, Ronald Kabang in the house, and of course, Mr. Teddy Covers ready to roll here tonight, gentlemen, on this Friday, January 26th. Let us start by checking in with the contrarian gods and seeing what they are looking at here tonight. And it ain't pretty, but that's the whole point. They're looking at the Hornets here now, 5.5, getting ready to take on them Houston Rockets. Now, a new look Hornets team here, Ski. So they've decided to get some of these younger guys more minutes, and minutes they're going to get. You trust them to stay within this number here tonight against the Rockets?
I have to in this situation. Neither team has been playing really good basketball, but I like I like a couple things about Charlotte a little more than the Rockets. So looking at the Rockets, they've covered one of their last 9 games. They have won 4 out of 19 road games. So I just don't think it's very smart to be laying points with this Houston Rockets team when they can barely even squeak out a win at home as it is. If you look at the last 5 games, Hornets have been the better offense, the better rebounding team, and just look at them playing at home. They have more wins at home than Rockets have on the road. So as bad as a team as people may think the Hornets are, there's even more reasons to bet against the Rockets on the road. So I'll roll with the guys today. Hornets +5.
All right, liking the gods. I mean, the records don't lie, RC, I guess, right? They're just not a very good road team here. So what gives here tonight? Is 5 enough for you to back the Hornets?
Yeah, this initially I was leaning towards the Rockets, but especially with how the Hornets have looked in recent weeks. But like Ski said, the Rockets are just bad on the road, 4-15 straight up, 6-12-1 against the spread. And if you look at them as favorites on the road, they've actually struggled more on the offensive side of the ball. They only scored 103 points, 112, 103 to the Grizzlies, 112 against the Pistons. So now they face I think a Hornets team that might be a little bit better off defensively without Rozier in the lineup. They definitely got much more length in that starting lineup than they did before. In general, when facing bad teams on the road, the Hornets seem to not care about playing much offense. Though that's the only reason why I can't really back them. In my opinion, I feel like I can kind of halfway get there with the contrarian guys. I think what the Hornets can do is limit the Rockets offensively. I think if you want to back them in that way, maybe keep the Rockets under their team total. I think that's one way to go. But it's hard to put my money on the Hornets the way that they look right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy here, Teddy. I mean, the Hornets have split their last 4 games, but they just lost to the Pistons. Like, damn, on Wednesday. Very hard to get behind a team that loses to the Pistons, or is it? Should we, are the contrarian gods onto something here with the Hornets tonight?
So I'll make a case for the Rockets tonight, and the case is real simple. An anti-contrarian play. And the case is Houston is a good team or a decent team coming off a particularly bad loss. Charlotte's a dismal team that isn't going to beat anyone unless they're flat. And that's honestly the way I look at Charlotte right now. I'm willing to back Charlotte on nights where I'm confident their opponent is going to look past them. If their opponent isn't looking past them, and Houston's not going to do it here, they're off the bad overtime loss to Portland. All right. And prior to Portland, for all the criticism that the Rockets have gotten, I mean, they've been stepping up in class big time of late. Boston, they played the surging Knicks. Philly, Boston again. They had Miami, Milwaukee. I mean, they've been playing good teams in recent weeks. Step down in class here off of a previous step down failure in their last game. I think Houston takes care of business. Favorite or pass for me, anti-contrarian play.
All right, looking at the Rockets, which was pretty sure now that your mic won't get muted the rest of the show, Teddy. Very nice. Can't promise you two guys that, but we will move on to a featured matchup here now tonight, and it is a good one out in New Orleans. There as OKC comes to town here, and at last glance, I believe I got OKC laying maybe a point and a half now. 239 is the total in this one. So Pelicans have been shooting really well, but so is OKC here, Ski. So what gives in this one tonight?
Yeah, Pelicans have been the number one offensive rated team the last 5 games. They definitely been rolling on that side of the ball. It's been the defense where they've had to try to pick it up. And OKC, they've been a team who's been up and down all season long as far as sometimes they play defense, sometimes they don't. But as of lately, last 5 games, they're a top 10 defensive rated team. The records are right up there on the screen. I mean, I agree with the market flipping this one to OKC as a favorite. I view them as a better team, mostly because of that defense and just the main dude I know I can trust over there for OKC. So I look at when they've stepped up all season long versus competition being greater than 55% win teams. They're 14-5-1 against the spread. I think OKC is the right side, even though they're at a rest disadvantage.
So I'm seeing Zion is questionable, RC. I don't know if that's confirmed or if he's out or if that's what's triggering it. But do you agree? Is OKC the better team in this spot to you?
I mean, I feel like, overall, yeah, they're the better team. I think once again this season, the Thunder are one of the best in the league as far as ATS. I think they're 29-14-1 ATS. Any way you cut the trends, the Thunder will look to have the advantage from that standpoint. But for me, I know Ski mentioned, the Thunder's offensive rating the last 5 games, but the majority of that came through the Spurs and the Jazz. They put 140 against the Spurs, 134 against the Jazz. They only put 102 against the Wolves on the road there. And, to me, I feel like the Pelicans do have somewhat of a pretty good defense, in my opinion, with or without Zion. I think their path to victory is their defense, and also second chance points is one thing that the Thunder give up is second chance points. If we look at the last 10 games, Pelicans are averaging 16.2 second chance points per game. That puts them in the top 5 or so. And then the Thunder, they allow fifth most second chance points per game. And if you look at the other side, Thunder the last 10 games ranked first in points off turnovers per game, eighth in fast break points, second in points per game in the paint. But defensively, the Pelicans are top 5 in each one of those in limiting those. So fourth in least points of in allowing the least points of points off turnovers, the least amount of fast break points per game, the fifth least points in the paint per game. So everything that the Thunder do well at, the Pelicans can limit and have shown that in the last 10 games. So the way that I would look, actually, whether or not the Pelicans can cover, I think the Thunder team total under might be the way to look, in my opinion. Because, if you look at the Thunder the last few games, they have covered games and won games where they went under their team total. So like the Thunder against the Wolves, 3-point dogs, they scored 102, but they ended up winning that game outright. So situation where they can win and cover, but still stay under their team total.
Well, one thing I know, Teddy, is that if New Orleans shoots like they did against Utah the other night, I don't care who the hell they're playing. It's going to be lights out. The question is, you think they can do that again here? Because they might very well have to outscore OKC. What do you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my ticket on Utah the other night.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And at least it wasn't a sweat. You got to turn that one off early. Being facetious, of course, and of course, if the Jazz have been able to make money for everybody in the world except for me during this run, which makes me crazy. All that being said, let's talk about this game instead of remembering previous losses. And when we're talking about the Pelicans and the Thunder, it really stands out when you look at the series history. All right, these teams have played 9 times since the beginning of the 21-22 season. You know how many times the favorite has covered the point spread in those last 9 meetings? 0. All right, now every game is tight. This is one of those series, literally, of the last 8 meetings, 7 of them have been decided by 5 points or more, or by points or less, I should say. So, it's one tight game after the next, one dog cover after the next. we've seen a significant line move here with the money pouring in on OKC with the Zion questionable status. And I get it. But if you bet against every 4.5 point line move in the NBA, you're going to make a whole lot more money than you will if you back every 4.5 point line move in the NBA. I'll take advantage of that. Give me New Orleans plus in this one.
Just to be clear, Ski, I'm not missing. He's not ruled out, right? It's just questionable here, and the market just went absolutely ballistic with the thought of him not being in this game. Okay, yeah, that always works out. Let's move on here, gentlemen. If we get to, let's take a look at a total here in our overtime segment, and tonight we did see a little bit of steam early on here today in this one. I mean, go figure. Dallas taking on Atlanta in Atlanta, 238 and a half. It was hit hard up to 244 and a half. Now, of course, good news for Atlanta is pretty much the entire team has been questionable now, including Trae Young. Dallas seems to be pretty bent. I think Kyrie is back here tonight. All in all, I get the move here, Ski. The question is it too much here? Is there any value looking at the under now if Trae doesn't go tonight?
Well, if you look at how both teams have been playing lately, I think you can make a case for that. Dallas missing a couple scores, or at least missing Kyrie tonight, but they've gone under 4 of their last 5 games. They're on the front end of a back-to-back tonight. The Hawks, they've gone under 7 of their last 8 games. You look at the matchup tonight, it's very hard to trust Dallas to play defense. Last 5 games, I have them as the 3rd worst defensive rated team. But this Hawks team might not be able to take advantage. They're the 2nd worst offensive rated team. So if we have 2 struggling offenses, 2 teams who've been playing more towards the under, I don't want to be betting them to get, close to 250 points in this matchup. So I'll lean with the under in this matchup.
It's tough too, RC. I mean, we've seen no Trae Young in Atlanta. Points go down. Not the same offensive team. Defense seems to get a little bit better. But what do you do here? Still questionable. I mean, Fernando Young, Matthew Capella, everyone's still questionable here. What are you looking at?
For me, I feel like the under is sort of the only way to go. I know the total going up maybe gives you a little bit more value to the under, but both of these teams have been under teams, right? If you look at recent form, the Mavs 13-5-1 to the under. Last 19 games, if you see them on the road, 5-1-1 to the under. They really struggle offensively in that spot. If you look at the Hawks, prior to that Warriors game, after they gave up 130 something to the Warriors, they had 7 straight under games. For me, I feel like the Warriors had good reason to really show up and show out in that game. But other than that, the Hawks have really been, playing a slower pace. They're struggling offensively, but playing a little bit better defense as well. Now that they're, to me, they're traveling across country or across multiple time zones from Cali to Atlanta. So that's definitely not going to help them and their legs or whatever it might be. But last 10 games, Hawks dead last in offensive rating. Nearly in the top 10 in defensive rating. I can only lean towards the under in this aspect.
Teddy, I mean, it was hit hard early and often here. I mean, driven it up to 244. Now, Kyrie was questionable this morning. Now he's out. Still no word on Trae. Do you still think it's an over or not spot here?
Hell no. Atlanta's not an over team right now. Atlanta's an under team right now. Okay? And these guys both said it. Look at the recent results. Look at the Hawks. One under after the next. Why are they an under team? It's not because their defense is any good. Atlanta's offense is broken right now. 112, 107, 95, 109, 106, 109, 99, 108. All right? That's what they've scored in their last 8 ball games. That's under their team total tonight's 121 and a half. Every one of those 8 stayed well under 121 and a half. And look at who they played. Sacramento up tempo, San Antonio no defense, Washington no defense, Indiana up tempo. Doesn't matter who they're playing. Atlanta's offense is broken. All right. They're not 11-33 ATS by accident. By far the worst point spread team that I've seen in recent memory. All right. Bet against the Hawks any way you want. Side, total, team total under. I don't think Atlanta. So bottom line, for a full game total, I want no part of the over in an Atlanta Hawks game unless we see a situation where Dallas gets to $150 tonight, which they might.
Yeah, I would get zero resistance from the Hawks, but you'd still wait to see what Trae Young's availability is there, guys. 7 o'clock Eastern time. Tip on that one. Well, there you go. Now we've got a total. We got a big game. We've got the contrarian gods. It is time to focus our attention on the dogs here tonight. We've got some interesting ones. Let's check them out here, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's check them out here. We got the Hawks, Hornets, Cavs, the Blazers. We got the Pacers, the Raptors, Pelicans, and the Grizz. All dogs here of pretty nice numbers here. So, Ski, kick us off here, man. Which one of these dogs is barking here tonight, you think?
I hate to be repetitive, but the only other dogs, I'm looking at the other guys they're going to talk about. So I'm not going to talk about the same games as them, and I'll just go with the contrarian play of the day. I just really think it's that simple as Houston cannot be laying on the road. You can talk as much as you want about as bad as Charlotte has been playing. They still been playing better than the Rockets. So I made a case for them earlier in the show. I'll roll with them for the That's My Dog segment as well.
All right, back in doubling down on the Hornets here tonight. RC, haven't you heard? Memphis doesn't lose either, apparently. Where are you heading tonight there, RC? Where are you looking at?
I'm looking at Toronto. I think earlier this morning it was 8.5, and now it's down to 7.5 with the news that PG has been downgraded to questionable. I know for Toronto, IQ is out, Pirtle is out, but Zubac and PG, potentially out for the Clippers is also something that could, they could take advantage of. This is just seems like one of those situations where the Clippers can win this game, but fail to cover the larger spread. Obviously, this is the first game in the Eastern time zone after being home for a bit. This is actually the first of a long 7-game Eastern Conference road trip as well. So I look to those games where, potentially managing minutes with their key starters. That's probably the reason why they have PG downgraded to questionable as well. Also, potential over adjustment off an outright loss to the Grizzlies. For me, even without the offense from IQ, they still got capable guards here. They got Schroeder, they got Brown. To me, I think this is just a spot where the Raptors have a good chance to stay within the number.
Yeah, I Boston on deck, I think, for the Clippers too here. So
Yeah,
that
true.
will be interesting there. Teddy, come on, man. Come on, a couple interesting dogs on this card. Which one did you circle for us?
Let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers plus the points in Milwaukee. And again, this isn't rocket science. It's a very simple concept. We saw Milwaukee get the win in the first game with the new coach bump. And now we've got Cleveland playing the same opponent twice in a row and didn't play well in the first meeting rematch. And this is one of the classic spots in the NBA that works time after time. I'm not convinced that Milwaukee's problems are completely solved now that Adrian Griffin is no longer their head coach. And in addition, Cleveland has been a significantly undervalued commodity in recent weeks. They've been making money. They've been printing money for anyone who's been backing them in just about any kind of role. Their 3-point role players, the 3-point shooters, have been tremendous during this span. I think that continues tonight against a Bucks team that lit it up the other night. I'm expecting a battle, not a blowout here. Give me Cleveland plus the points.
Taking the points there with the Cavs tonight, round 2 between the Bucks and them. Technically, it is kind of another new coach tonight for Milwaukee, but that's the other guy. He wasn't quite there yet, but he's there now, Teddy. We're still trying to figure out, Teddy, how can we apply to be a coach for Milwaukee? Because they apparently are paying 12 dudes to be the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, and there's only one. So I don't know how we can get that job, but that would be fantastic. Ski, we got 60 seconds on the clock, man. Tell us, best bet wise here tonight. Interesting card. Come on, can't come out with the Hornets or we will Swiss flag your ass. So tell me where you going here tonight.
Best bet, I will go with. I didn't make this yet, but I'll make it after the show. I'll go with the Suns. -4.5 is the best number you can get right now. This is a team on a 7-game win streak. They just handled this Indiana team the other day, and Indiana just played last night. So I'll share this stat with you that I got from the database. Rested road favorites in a non-conference game versus unrested teams who won their last game as a dog. So maybe a little bit satisfied after winning their last game. 37, 23, and 1 ATS. The average line is -5.4, right around where we're looking at today. And obviously, all the categories that I care about the last 5 games, Phoenix has played better. They're a top 10 offensive rated, defensive rating, rebounding team. I just think -4.5 is pretty much asking them to win the game. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would I want to step in front of the Phoenix train? I'll take them, in fact, minus the 4.5 points.
Yeah, I'm with you. Makes no sense. It was a pretty interesting battle last night, too, against Philly. Now they got to welcome in Phoenix. Good luck with that. RC, talk to us here, man. 60 seconds on the clock. Which way are you looking for a best bet here tonight?
Yeah, before I get to my best bet, I'm going to try my best Steve Merrill impression here.
Yes.
Guys, WagerTalk has a great deal going on right now. Get 7 days of NBA plays from both me and Ski Profit for just $69. Ski is on an incredible run. He's up over 190 units since last March. Prior to moving to WagerTalk, I was up over 120 units over the last 2 seasons at Sports Memo, currently riding a nice 73% run over the last 40 NBA plays. So we are seeing the board really well right now. Make sure to check that out over at WagerTalk.com. All right, now to my best bet. I'm looking at the Spurs team total over tonight. They do much better at home offensively. While they're not home favorites often, they are 2-0 to their team total over in that spot. This season scoring 126 versus the Rockets, 135 against the Hornets. The Blazers last 10 games giving up 121.5 per game, 28th in the league in defensive rating as well. Whether or not the Spurs cover, I like the Spurs to go over their team total 116.5 tonight.
Very well. That was outstanding. Not for nothing. I'm so glad you went that road as opposed to grabbing some sort of prop. But fantastic job there. Outstanding, RC. All right, Teddy, you got it. Last words here on a best bet tonight for this card. 60 seconds. Which one of these games did you circle?
Well, if he's going to promo, I got a promo too real quick. I'll do it real quick. Access 7 is the promo code to use at checkout. Access 7 gets you $30 off a 7-day all-access pass for any of the handicappers at WagerTalk.com. Take advantage of me, Ski, or Ronald Cabang and get on board. Access 7, 7 days, all-access, $30 off. Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks and the Dallas Mavericks. This was really simple, all right? Atlanta's 11-33 ATS. The 29th worst team has 16-point spread covers. So they're lapping the field with how bad they are. You heard me earlier in the show talking about how bad their offensive numbers are of late. And I don't care if Trae Young plays or not. Their defensive numbers, every bit as bad. Dallas coming off an ugly loss, stepping down in class after playing defensive-minded teams. And oh, by the way, the Mavs have more road wins than the Hawks have home wins this year. Dallas. End of write-up.
Boom. There you got it, guys. Quick, to the point, and a lot of great information in this. One more time, wrapping it up and recapping. Spurs team total over $116.5 here for RC. Ski's going to go with the Suns. He'll lay the 4 against against Indiana here tonight, while Teddy says, you got to be kidding me with Atlanta, right? No, hell no. -1.5. Give them the Dallas Mavericks and Luka to get it done here tonight. All 3 of these guys told you if you visit their page at WagerTalk.com, there's a very profitable reason to take advantage, guys. Huge weekend coming up here. Plenty of everything, right? College, hoops, NFL, NBA action. A little something for everyone this weekend. Make sure you visit Teddy Covers, Ronald Kabang, and Ski Profit. Partner up with these guys at least for this weekend, and we'll regroup on Monday. Counting those tickets, guys. That's what it is all about. Until then, best of luck with all your plays this weekend. And, of course, if you hit that video on the screen right now, check out all the big game previews we've got here at WagerTalk TV. All of them are coming up here in the next couple of days. More previews, more best bets. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the WagerTalk TV family. Good luck with all your plays. We'll see you again on Monday.